Hey everybody, said I was gonna vlog every weekend, so I'm trying to make a video for you guys. I don't know who's watching this, but here I am. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about therapy today. It's kind of funny because, well, basically, I just started getting back into therapy again. I was going to DBT in the state I was in before I came here. And I really enjoyed DBT. I actually think it's probably the best kind of therapy people with mental health problems can get. Or, people with schizoaffective, bipolar, whatever. They say it's supposed to be for people with, oh God, a mood disorder. Jesus, I can't think of what it's called right now, but technically, usually people that have schizoaffective and whatnot don't normally go to these kind of classes or groups or whatever, but I ended up going anyway. That's what they decided they wanted me to do, and in the last state I lived in, and I really enjoyed it. It has you take a look at how you respond to things and how to look at your situations and solve your problems and through a calm, in a calm manner. So it lets you assess yourself and not overanalyze everything and overreact to everything, and it kind of just helps you take a step back and look at things. That's the only way I can really describe it. But so I really enjoyed DBT, but I also kind of like regular counseling, depending on the counselor. The last counselor I had, I did DBT, but I also had a counselor who was an older woman, and I would try to discuss things with her, and I just felt like I was boring to her. Um, and I'm sure when you're a therapist, you hear a lot of crazy shit, and I mean, I kind of get where she's coming from, but her job is to like listen to me, and I just felt totally. I mean, one time she actually fell asleep. Like, I get she's older and she's like trying to, do her job and stuff, but she like she fucking fell asleep, dude. Like, she fell asleep. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave because you're clearly like, yeah, you're like done with your day, and there's no point in me being here. So, I didn't say it like that. I just was like, oh, okay, well, guess this is basically over. I'm gonna go ahead and go. So, that happened, and I also noticed there's always this awkward thing whenever you get a therapist. Like, I'm going through this right now in the state I'm in, and I'm where you have to try to figure out whether your therapist is actually like going to give a rat's ass about anything you say. And so, basically, like, what's going on right now is we're kind of getting used to each other. So I'll go in there, and I always feel like she's like trying to like pass time without actually having to talk to me at first. Like, she's like, "Oh, when's your next appointment? Maybe we should schedule that now. The computers out front are kind of down." And I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting. I'm glad you can help me with that now. So we get that done, and then she'll like, I don't know, she talks about little things before we even start actually talking, and it just seems like she's trying to like, again, like avoid actually talking to me about my issues. So we do that, and then like we'll start to kind of talk about things, but not really. Like, that's one thing I get, like, I like having someone to vent to, but it's like she's saying some stuff back. Sometimes it's helpful, and actually there was one time it was really helpful where she was discussing how like our brains work and how cognitive therapy works and stuff like that, and how it's basically your flight or fight response, and how you need to like step away from situations and stuff. So that was interesting. I did like talking to her about that. But the last appointment, I just felt like, okay, there's no real reason for me to like be here. And every time I go to the appointment, she's like, if you choose to come back, I mean, if you want to, uh, continue working with me. And I'm like, okay, I've only been here 2 times. I come see you once a month. How am I mean, are you going to decide what kind of person I am after seeing me in 2 visits? I'm not going to do that to her either. I'm just, I'm like, it's in this weird phase right now. And it's usually after, after like four therapy sessions, I can decide, 4 or 5, whether or not I actually like the therapist. Sometimes I wish that they weren't so, my appointments weren't so far apart. Like, dude, like a month apart, really? I mean, it's kind of good for me because I'm poor and I don't really have transportation, so I have to take the bus. And the only time I usually have money to take the bus is around the first of the month. So if I can get it like a week in, or a week out of the first, week or two after the first, then I can make it to the appointment with no problems. So so that's good. But beyond, like, I really don't like just the once a month thing. It's like, why? I can't, how can this person understand what's really going on with me if they only see me once a month? And how can they work? Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. And I don't really like, I mean, the only reason I like therapy is that you're able to vent. I think that's it. And if the person who's listening to you is not actually listening to you while you're venting, then it's like, why the fuck am I coming here? So I'm kind of like hesitant about this new therapist. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, is this person actually gonna like listen to me? And another thing that I freaking hate, I fuck it. I've been trying to be like, not cuss on here and stuff, but anyway, I fucking, I hate when you're sitting in the therapy session and it's not even been an hour and they're like, oh, it's like 15 till or something. They're like, oh, well, the session's over, it's time to go. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's an hour-long appointment. You're like telling me 45 minutes. And I'm just like, I don't know. That kind of bothers me. I mean, imagine if I have insurance, thank God. If I didn't have insurance and somebody cut my therapy appointment to 45 minutes when it's supposed to be an hour, I'd be like, motherfucker, if I'm paying for this whole fucking hour, you're going to talk to me for a whole fucking hour, dude. Like, fuck you. And that's another thing. Right now, like, I'm not even sure, and I know this sounds shitty, and people who don't have to pay, or who have to pay for their therapy appointments, I'm sorry if I sound like an ignorant shit or a selfish turd, or whatever, but if I think if I was actually paying for this myself, I don't know if I'd stick with this therapist. And I really, like, I wonder how much she actually gets paid. The first, like I said, the first appointment was good. The second one's kind of, and so I'm trying to feel things out. But that's what I'm saying. If I was actually paying for this shit, like right now, I'd probably be kind of pissed off. I'd be like, what am I doing? I'm very thankful that people are willing to pay for me to help. That the government is helping me get therapy. But I would like to get therapy that's actually working and people aren't paying for some dumb shit who doesn't really do anything. Yeah. It's just me, though. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on therapy right now. Again, I highly recommend DBT. Like, that is the best kind of therapy I've ever experienced. I'm thinking about asking if they have any kind of group therapy here. I don't think they do, but I'm thinking about asking about it. Anyway, maybe they'll have some DBT or something, or maybe they'll, if people keep bugging them about it, maybe they'll start doing something with it. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. I hope everyone else out there has like a better therapist or a better experience with therapy. Also, like, something about male therapists and their extra long socks and their loafers, like, totally creeps me the fuck out, dude. It's creepy. It's like, it's weird to me. I don't get it. Some people I heard find it comforting, whereas I'm just looking at them like, dude, you have no idea what kind of world I live in if you're wearing loafers and knee-high socks, dude. Like, fuck you. I don't know. Anyway, so, that's all I gotta say. But yeah, I hope that you have, whoever's out there has had a good experience with their therapist or their therapy. And if you've been to like DBT or whatever, comment on how you, like, what's worked for you, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.